To get things started, I'd like to bring out our 2016 Butler Fair Queen, Madeline McCacken, and her two ambassadors, Shirley Harmon and Barb Rue. Here are these beautiful young ladies. Let's give it up for them now. Thank you, ladies, and I'm going to turn the mic over right now to Madeline, and here you go.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you also to tonight's event and our fairground in general. I am very excited to be here, and I'm excited that all of you have come out too. This is a great turnout. Make sure when you're finished here, you check out our midway. We've got a lot of awesome food. Also our exhibits. We've got a petting zoo sponsored by the 4-H clubs. So we've got a lot of cool stuff going on here, and I hope that you all get to enjoy all of it, all right? At this time, if you could please rise for the presentation of our national anthem.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all of our guests here in the grandstand tonight. And gentlemen, behind the vehicles of the Dodge automobiles that they'll be driving tonight, if you are set and ready, then it is on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, your Black Cat Hell Drivers to the top of 3 and 4 on those vehicles right now. I'm going to introduce each of our stars to you as they make their way back in front of the grandstand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he broke his back just 3 years ago at the Orange County Fair in New York. He was originally an automobile stunt driver with the Black Cat Hell Drivers and the Tony Peterson Hell Drivers. New to hell driving this year, I'd like to welcome you this man from Boston, Massachusetts, where the lobsters reign in the home of the clam chowder capital. Here he is, Mr. Terry Gappa. He started out watching Joey Chitwood Thrill Show at Charlie Belknap's Hollywood Stunt Show. He was America's youngest automobile stunt show clown. Just a few years ago, he began driving for the Black Cat Hell Drivers and the Legend Stunt Show. Here he comes, he's America's #1 fastest growing legendary stunt star, Mr. Justin Bellinger from Palmer, Massachusetts. He started out in 1972 with the King Covaz Auto Daredevils, then moved on to the Jack Konchman Hell Drivers, then the Charlie Belknap Hollywood Stunt Show. He's crashed more cars than there are New York City taxi cabs. Let's welcome the producer of our show, Mr. Jumpin' Johnny Weiser. Considered a legend by many, unsurpassed by no one. He makes the critically acclaimed and internationally famed superstar from all over the globe, originating from Copenhagen, Denmark. Here is the legendary, unsurpassed, Mr. Tony Peterson! Hello, Tony, welcome. Tony says we've got a problem. He's got a big problem. Get the heck out of the car, Mr. Peterson says. Hey, what are you doing in Mr. Peterson's car?
I was trying to take a nap.
You were trying to take a nap. It looks to me like you were taking a little bit of a nip. What is your name out there?
I'm Skidmark the Stunt Clown.
Skidmark the Stunt Clown? I've never heard of Skidmark the Stunt Clown. You know, what are you doing out there in Mr. Peterson's car? You were trying to take a nap. I don't think so. Why are you so dressed up tonight for the big Butler Fair?
Hot date.
You got a hot date, and who do you have a hot date with?
Her name's Bureau.
Her name is Bureau. Hold it. I think you might be quite mistaken. Don't you mean Beulah?
No, I mean Bureau.
No, he means bureau. A bureau, my friend, is 6 foot high and 6 foot wide and has big drawers.
That's her.
That's her! That's too much information. While you are out there, so expressly dressed, that's awesome outfit that you have on. What is that you're wearing out there tonight?
Armani.
You mean to tell me you're wearing a Giorgio Armani designer suit?
Oh, no. Salvation Armani.
A Salvation Armani, oh my goodness. Well, Sparkplug, since you're out there on that racetrack, do we have your permission to start that show?
Let's go.
Let's roll, he says, and they're going to take the cars to the top of the racetrack as we got our 2 stars of the show as we're getting things. Actually, we're going to get that 1937 Dodge automobiles. We're going to get ready to prepare a ramp-to-ramp jump. You guys seen this years ago with the Joey Chitwood Grill Show when they ran them through the cannons. You've seen it with the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers where they took a Dodge pickup truck and overlapped 2 vehicles as they ran over ramp-to-ramp. Well, now, the producer of our show, Mr. Johnny Weiser, is going to take that 1937 Dodge automobile. He'll keep it more than 75 feet in the air. He has to land it absolutely perfect. One small mistake could be catastrophic for anyone out there on the racetrack. Not too long ago, Johnny overshot it in Massachusetts at the Seekonk Speedway. His speedometer wasn't working correctly, and he overshot it and cleared the entire ramp, but he successfully made it over the jump. Well, Mr. Johnny Weiser is going to check things out and make sure everything is correct before he takes this very dangerous leap of life out there on the racetrack tonight. Let's watch carefully. He takes that 1937 Dodge. He gives it away, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a lot of good luck as he makes it all the way down to the top of the racetrack as he gets ready to prepare for that ramp-to-ramp jump out there on that big Butler racetrack tonight, this big half-mile racetrack out there this evening. In fact, this vehicle, a 1938 vehicle, was the vehicle that Lucky Teeter crashed at the Indiana State Fair that became his early demise. Well, Johnny's got a vehicle that's 1 year older, 1937, and he'll take it ramp to ramp out there on the racetrack tonight. It was 1938 Dodge that Lucky Teeter killed himself in a ramp to ramp jump over a bus at the Indiana State Fair. Well, he's got that vehicle through the short chute now as he comes down that straightaway momentarily. He's got to line things up. He's got a GPS there to watch the racetrack, to watch the speedometers on the racetrack. There he goes. He comes down that straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, watch carefully as he hits the ramp, and he successfully takes it more than 75 feet in the air. Well, we're going to bring him back in front of the grandstand where I'll introduce you to the producer once again to our show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the way we warm up. That's the way we get started with the Black Cat Hell Drivers. Internationally acclaimed, critically acclaimed, Mr. Johnny Weiser. In that 1937 Dodge automobile. You guys ask what happens if we wreck that vehicle? It's no more, but guess what? We've got a 1938 sitting in the garage ready to use in case that one comes to it early tonight out there on the racetracks at these fairs, speedways, and state fairs that we'll be participating at all summer long this summer. Well, they're going to get the ramp elevations moved back into place, and we're going to bring out our 2-star drivers, Mr. Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser, who just attempted that ramp-to-ramp jump and successfully made it. They're going to take these 2 cars and we'll get warmed up and heated up on the racetrack to get prepared for your night's full events. Don't get out of your seats because at the end of the show, that's the crash and smash portion of the show. That's where we'll crash and smash vehicles out here on the racetrack. Mr. Peterson making sure that everything is okay. He's driving by. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Peterson, who introduced the art of 2-wheel driving in the 1964-65 World's Fair. He was the first person to put a vehicle up on 2 wheels, and he was successful because you know what? He learned how to lock those rear axles, and that's how he could take those vehicles round and round, round and round. He's the world record holder, putting a vehicle up on 2 wheels, driver's side high. And later this evening, you'll be able to see him do that when he does his 2-wheel exhibition out there on the racetrack. Hey guys, you want to meet and greet us? That's not a problem because after tonight's show, you can come on down onto the racetrack, see the vehicles that we drive. You'll be able to see the vehicles that we crash in the crash and smash portion of the show. And you'll also be able to get autographs if you'd like. We've even got souvenirs as well. That's right, after the show, come down and introduce yourself. We'd love to meet each and every one of you out there on that racetrack tonight. Ramps are being set into place as we'll take our 2 high-speed precision drivers, Johnny Weiser and Tony Peterson, and they'll do a duel of Daredevil out there on the racetrack tonight. Want to find out more information about the Black Cat Hell Drivers? Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Black Cat Hell Drivers. Also, you can check out our website at blackcat.ca, blackcathelldraivers.ca. That's right, you can check us out on the web as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the ramps are set into place. Looks like everything is okay now. Looks like we had a momentary problem. Checking the ramps for safety is that young female assistant out there, Lori Ann D. I'll tell you about her later on this evening. She is our only female stunt associate, and we'll tell you about what she's going to do out here momentarily. All right, I've got the all clear. We're going to send our top riders to the top of the racetrack as they introduce this two-car high-speed precision driving. It's a duo of daredevils on the racetrack tonight. They're going to take it high. They're going to take it fast. Watch carefully as they attempt race ramp elevations in succession out there on the racetrack tonight. Vehicles are being turned around. They're prepared to hit race ramp elevations in succession. One small move could be catastrophic out there on the racetrack. They're lined up. In the lead, it'll be Tony Peterson in the number 4 car. In the number 7 car, it'll be Johnny Weiser following up. It looks like they line him up. They're going to bring him down the racetrack now. They're going to go bumper to bumper for their first set as they take ramp elevations in succession. It looks like they take it driver's side high. Here they go, up and over ramp elevation number 1. And number 2, touching bumpers all the way and sliding into the top of the racetrack. Well, they'll turn those vehicles around. They'll bring them back in front of the grandstands for you tonight. That was attempt number 1. They're going to do it 3 times. That's the way they warm up. That's the way they get started out here in high-speed precision driving. And throughout the evening, we'll keep increasing the number of cars in there with that high-speed precision driving. Well, now I've got Tony Peterson on the high side, Johnny Weiser on the low side. They cross before ramp elevation number 1. Heading for ramp elevation number 2. They cross again to those very dangerous crossovers, nearly missing one another out there on the racetrack in that middle section. They'll take the vehicle to the top of the racetrack again, and for time, attempt number 2 of 2-car high-speed precision driving. They'll take 3 tries out there tonight to get things started, and then we'll be increasing the risk and dangers out there on the racetrack momentarily. Well, they're warming up. One took the high side, the other took the low. Let's look how they bring it now. Now they're going to put them bumper to bumper once again. It looks like this time they're going to take it driver's side high. Low over ramp elevation number 1, heading to ramp elevation number 2, driver's side low again out there on the racetrack as they slide and nearly miss one another on that second attempt of high-speed precision driving. We're going to do one more attempt of ramp-to-ramp elevations, high-speed precision driving out there on the racetrack. A combined experience right now on the racetrack, more than 75 years of combined experience on the racetrack right now out there in those very dusty conditions. One takes the high side, one takes the low side. They cross before ramp elevation number 1. They hit between ramp elevation number 2. They cross again and they narrowly miss another, and they successfully take it to the top of the racetrack once again. Well, that was attempt number 2. We're going to get our 3rd and final attempt out there on the racetrack right now. Warming things up, getting ready for high-speed precision driving, getting ready for the crash and smash portion. We've got fire, flames, gasoline, and much more coming up for you. All right. Now they're coming back again. One takes the high, one takes the low. I think they'll crisscross in between ramp elevations as they make their way down. They're going 50, 60, 60, 75 miles an hour. They hit ramp elevation number 1. They cross. They take ramp elevation number 2, and they successfully cross again out there on the racetrack tonight. Well, I think they're warmed up. I think we're ready to increase the feet, increase the risk and danger out there on the racetrack. We've got our 2 duo of daredevils, the producer of our show and the star of our show, as they make their way in front of the grandstand tonight. Well, they'll stop them and park them on a dime just for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our duo of daredevils, Mr. Johnny Weiser and Tony Peterson. That was 2-car high-speed precision driving. Now we're going to be doing a little flames, fire, and gasoline. We're going to heat things up on the racetrack right now. We'll be applying gasoline out there on the racetrack. This is called the Slide for Life, coined the Suicide by many, because what Miss Lori Ann, our female stunt associate, will be attempting in just a few minutes. She'll be releasing herself from a bumper at a high rate of speed, and she'll be flying through flames, fire, and gasoline as she takes it all the way up to the track. You know, I didn't get to introduce you. This is Miss Lori Ann D. from Plattsburgh, New York, as she's going to get ready to try. She is the queen of the stunt show. That's right here at the Black Cat Hell Drivers, and she's going to be attempting that Slide for Life out there right now. They're going to bring the car out here in front. Looks like it's got Mr. Peterson in the number 6 car. He'll turn it around, and Miss Lori Ann will put herself on the back of that perch behind that car. She'll take it down to the top of the racetrack. Tony will come at a high rate of speed where she'll drop herself. They'll be applying gasoline on the racetrack. She'll run through flames, fire, and gasoline, and we'll see how far she can make it out there tonight. Skidmark, what are you doing out there on the racetrack? Please give her a lot of good luck as we send her on the way to the racetrack now. If you're not paying attention, get out there and pay attention. Miss Lorianne, she makes her way to the top of the racetrack now. Once again, a very big thank you to JR's Truck and Auto Sales, providing the cars that we'll use in the crash and smash portion of the show. But we're going to heat things up. Mr. Terry Gappel, when he gets the all clear from Tony, he'll be lighting that fire and gasoline on the racetrack for some flames and fire out there. And Miss Lorianne's going to have a hot one tonight as things get heated up on that racetrack in just a moment. Terry lights up the torch. He brings it down. We've got flames, fire. Remember, the higher the flames, the hotter the fire. Here they go. Here comes Mr. Tony Peterson, 50, 55, 60, 60 miles an hour as Miss Lorianne goes down, down, down in that very dangerous slide for life. Give it up for Miss Lorianne. Hey, Skidmark, what did you think about Miss Lorianne's slide for life?
86.
You thought it stunk.
I want it out of
He
the
says he wants it out of the show. 86 it.
86.
And he said he could do a better job.
I could do that better.
You could do that better. Hey, boys and girls, would you like to see those Skidmark do a better job than Miss Lorianne? Yeah. I thought you told me, Skidmark, these were your friends here at the Big Butler Fair.
They used to be.
They used to be, not anymore, he says. Well, hey, Mr. Peterson, bring down the car and pick him up on the bumper, please. Bumper. My goodness. Come down here now. Get down there and tie your shoe and get ready to do that very dangerous slide for life. Your shoes have to be tied in order to hold on to the back of the vehicle. Skidmark, your taxi's here. What are you doing? It's time to do the slide for life. Now get on there and watch Miss Lorianne as she shows you the mannerisms of mounting the vehicle. Once she gets on there, once she's ready, she will signal the driver by tapping the rear quarter panel 2 times once she is set and ready to go. Now watch her as she has her stance on there and hey, hold on! Hey, Justin! What are you doing?
I'm going to the beer tent.
You're going to the beer tent? I don't think so. What's going on out there? I just think Miss Lorianne changed her mind. Lorianne, put him on there and let's send him on his way, please. Watch carefully as we show him the mannerisms of mounting the vehicle properly. And they get ready to send him on his way. Mr. Bellinger, Justin, hold it, hold it! Hey, Lori, it's supposed to be an exhibition, not an execution. Hang him, she says. What's the matter with you now? Bring that car back here to the back. Bring that car back here and park it where it starts. That's right. A little faster, please. These people paid admission. They'd like to get onto the midway at some point tonight. And park it right there. Beautiful. What's the matter? Something's on you? You know, earlier today they were running horses out there. I'm sorry, they must have left a little stuff out there. Harness racing, yes. Now get on that vehicle and do it correctly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send Mr. Skidmark to the top of the racetrack. Oh, Matt! What happened now?
I broke my nose.
You broke your nose? What's going on? Let me see, what is that? What is that?
Snot.
Snot? That's disgusting. Now wipe that off right now. Not on Miss Lorianne. All right, now get onto that vehicle, please. Remove your jacket. And there you go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this started for once and for all. Now, watch carefully as we take Mr. Skidmark to the top of the racetrack at this time. Here he goes, Mr. Bellinger. I think they're ready. And watch carefully. Hey, hold it, he says, hold it. And Justin's not stopping anymore. Terry, what did he forget? The 3 most important things. No helmet, no slide pad, and no brains. Well, you know what we're going to do out there on the racetrack? We're going to get some flames, fire, and gasoline out there for Mr. Skidmark. Watch carefully as we get ready to apply more gasoline on the racetrack for Skidmark, as we get ready to put 2 gallons of high-performance premium. Terry says, no, not 2 gallons, 2 quarts. 2 drops, Terry says. Watch carefully as we put 2 drops for Mr. Skidmark. Here things come. Drop number 1. Drop number 2. Hey, Terry, I think there's a hole in your can, man. I thought you said 2 drops. Well, any moment now, Miss Lori Ann's going to light things up, and watch carefully as we get this egomaniac through the flames, fire, and gasoline out there tonight on the racetrack. We're going to get things lighted up right now. Here he goes. Watch carefully as Justin Bellinger brings things in at a high rate of speed, and here he comes. Oh, no! Hey, Skidmark, you dropped the wrong ropes, man! You're coming apart at the seams. You're exposed. This is supposed to be a family-friendly show. Your cheeks are going to get a little rosy out there tonight, I think. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring more flames, fire, and gasoline out there as we light things up on the racetrack, as we get ready to do that motorcycle firewall. Well, you've seen this in Hollywood where they go through a burning barricade or they go through a burning barn. We're going to recreate that scene out there on the racetrack tonight at your big Butler Fair. Mr. Johnny Weiser will take that motorcycle at a high rate of speed through flames, fire, and gasoline and lumber out there on the racetrack tonight. Don't forget, the big crash and smash portion of the show is coming up very soon at the end of the show. You don't want to miss out. We're going to take a car more than 80 feet in the air and plunge it into another car. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be great in that very dangerous dive bomber. Well, Johnny Weiser's got his going on right now. He's got the motorcycle started. They've got the firewall up. At any moment, they'll light that firewall as he'll go through flames, fire, and gasoline at a high rate of speed on that motorcycle. He gives us the all clear. Checks things out one more time. Yes, everything does look good. We'll send Mr. Weiser to the top of the racetrack now. Things are going to get a little hot here on the racetrack as they get ready to apply fuel to that burning barricade that they'll light up here any moment. Remember, the higher the flame, the hotter the fire out there on the racetrack tonight. Johnny Weiser originally starting as a motorcycle man for the King Kovaz Daredevils in 1972. Well, they're going to apply gasoline. Mr. Tony Peterson, one of the stars of our show, applying gasoline out there. Justin Bellinger will light things up. He's America's fastest rising stunt star with television movie credits right now to his name. Here things are lit. We've got flames, fire, and gasoline. Here comes Johnny Weiser down that racetrack now. The higher the flames, the hotter the fire. Here he comes. Watch carefully as he brings it through, burning through and going through flames, fire, and gasoline. He successfully makes it out there tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Justin Weiser. All right, we're going to get things out there on the racetrack. Hey, Skidmark, what did you think about Johnny Weiser's flaming firewall? You want to do it just like Johnny Weiser? You want to be an American daredevil just like Johnny Weiser? Well, get onto your motorcycle, my friend. We're going to recreate that stunt just for you. Watch carefully as they bring that firewall out there on the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to take this time to thank our sponsor once again. His name is J.R. Gerald Rumberg, and he provides the cars that we're going to be using in the crash and smash portion of the car. He also owns Wild Bull Monster Truck, which is here at the fair. You can take a look straight across the racetrack, and you'll see that vehicle right over there. Give a big thanks to him for providing those vehicles, and also he happens to own and operate JR's Truck and Auto Sales as well. Well, they got that flaming firewall out there. They're going to recreate that stunt for old Skidmark. Yes, I love your bike. That's a beautiful bike. What kind of bike is that? A Rose Canardly? What in the heck is a Rose Canardly? It rolls down one hill. It can hardly make it up the next. That's fantastic. Well, what kind of features and benefits does that Rose Canardly have? It comes with its own three-way signal. Show these folks that three-way signal. Left turn, right turn, and what's the other one? Get the hell out of the way. Hey, this is supposed to be a family-friendly show. We're going to light things up there on the racetrack once again. We've got flames, fire, and gasoline. Let's heat it up there for old Skidmark out there on the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, watch carefully as he brings it in at 3, 4, 5 miles an hour out there on that Rose Canardly. Hardly through there. Ladies and gentlemen, he successfully makes it through that flaming firewall tonight. Give it up for old Skidmark out there tonight. All right, now we're going to get some action on the tops of the vehicles. We're going to take the number 5 vehicle and the number 6 vehicle. We're going to put human auto people on the top of those things. This is called auto bats on the top of those two vehicles. Tony Peterson originated this act also when he came to America. Tony Peterson was originally with the Royal Famous Amandies, where he's from Copenhagen, Denmark. And he had a famous teeterboard act, and when he came to America with that teeterboard act, he then saw the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers performing at a fair. And they asked Tony, hey Tony, can you do some acrobats on the top of the vehicles? He said, absolutely. And he said, you know what, there's a way that we can do some acrobats for the vehicles, we'll call them Autobats. And so he originated this act with the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers in the 1950s. Well, right now we'll recreate that stunt from years past as we'll put two of our stunt daredevils on the tops of those vehicles tonight, the number 5 vehicle and the number 6 vehicle. We'll put Terry Gappa on top and Lori D on top of that vehicle tonight. Cars driven by Justin Bellinger and Johnny Weiser tonight out there for that Autobat action. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at the end of the show tonight, you can come out here and join us on the racetrack. You'll meet and greet the performers of our show. You'll see the vehicles that we drive. These are stock automobiles. These are Dodge stock automobiles. Nothing is special, nothing is great about them. They're just a standard stock automobile that you'll find on any Dodge showroom floor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our duo of daredevils are going to get atop those vehicles, and we're going to send them to the top of the track in that Autobat action tonight. Once they give us the all clear, and they'll be on their way, ready to go. Here they go, Miss Lori D and Terry Gappa, as they take it to the top of the racetrack tonight. They're going to be attempting race ramp elevations in succession out there, and we'll see on that third run if they'll be able to hold hands while they come down that racetrack tonight. Terry Gappa originally performing this with the Tony Peterson Hell Drivers 5 years ago when he came on board stunt driving. And then this is Terry's first year driving in those stunt cars as he's been able to do that. Miss Lorianne on her third year working with the stunt shows, originally working with the Tony Peterson Hell Drivers, the Black Cat Hell Drivers, and the Legend Stunt Show. Well, they're going to line them up bumper to bumper, Terry in front and Lori on back. Hold steady, hold tight as they take ramp elevations in succession. They take it up and over ramp to number 1, heading for ramp elevation number 2. They successfully take it to the top as they lean into the corner on those very, very dusty conditions on that racetrack tonight. Well, they're going to warm up and get started. They take it ramp to ramp, bumper to bumper out there tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, our two duo of daredevils high atop those cars. They'll be taking it faster on their second run, increasing the risk, increasing the danger as they take race ramp elevations in succession out there tonight. Here they come as they get prepared for their second run of Autobat action. Terry Gappa and Miss Lorianne as they take their way back to the top tonight. The Black Cat Hell Drivers, many of our performers with television and movie credits, Tony Peterson, too many to mention, Johnny Weiser, also Justin Bellinger, America's fastest rising stunt star today, with many television and movie credits to his name. Well, tonight we're going to get things started for round number 2 of Autobat action. They took it driver's side high the first time. Now they're going to take it bumper to bumper again. They'll see if they take it driver's side low. Watch carefully as they bring it into the high rate of speed, increasing the speed 7 to 10 more miles as they take their second run of Autobat action. Terry in the lead, Lorianne falling behind. It's driver's side low, up over ramp elevation number 1, heading for 2, bumpers touching all the way out there on the racetrack tonight, leading into the top of the track. Well, they'll get ready for their third and final run, and I think they'll take that side by side, and they'll see if they can do it. If the conditions are right, they will attempt to hold hands as they make it over race ramp elevations in succession out there high atop those cars tonight. They'll bring those cars in as they prepare for their third and final run of Autobat action out there. I don't know if it's me, and I don't know if these guys got a lot of intestinal fortitude, but it's good old-fashioned guts for Miss Lorianne and Terry Gappa as they take it to the top of the racetrack for their third and final run. I would like to take this time to thank all of our visitors in the grandstand tonight. Thank you for coming out. I know we've got people that's traveled some of 500 and 600 miles to get here for tonight's performance. We certainly appreciate it. Well, they took it drivers high, they took it drivers low. Now they're going to put them side by side, wheel well to wheel well, fender to fender as they put them close, close, close. Watch carefully as they attempt to reach over. I don't think they were able to. They take it over ramp elevation number 1. He raises heck and he takes it again, and Terry holds it one-handed all the way down the racetrack tonight. Well, they'll bring those vehicles back, and those duo of daredevils will leap from the tops of the vehicle as we get ready for our next feat of daring out there on the racetrack tonight. We're going to bring more cars to the mix, adding more wheels, more danger out there to high-speed precision driving. Here come our duo of daredevils high atop those roofs. good old intestinal fortitude or good old-fashioned guts right up there tonight. Here we are, Mr. Terry Gappa and Roy Andy. Well, you guys saw two-car high-speed precision driving. Now we're going to add one more car. We're going to add one more car, make three cars to the mix, adding more wheels and more temptation out there on the racetrack. They'll take it at a high rate of speed with three cars going bumper to bumper out there in that high-speed precision driving. Synchronized driving out there on the racetrack as they make it out there tonight. We'll have Mr. Justin Bellinger out there, Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser. Mr. Bellinger in the number 6 Dodge, in the number 4, Mr. Tony Peterson, and in the number 7, Mr. Johnny Weiser, as we have our 3 daredevil drivers out there on the racetrack tonight. Gentlemen, if you're set and ready, we'll get those vehicles to the top of the racetrack. Here they go, champions all, taking it up to the top of the racetrack tonight in those Dodge Avengers. Speaking of Dodge, here at your big Butler Fair, I don't know if you guys noticed, Dodge has a wonderful, impressive display over there at the front of the fairgrounds where they'll take those vehicles and show what Dodge can do. You ask why we drive Dodge? We drive Dodge because they hold up and they take the test of torture out there on the racetrack. They'll take those 3 vehicles out there on the racetrack. We'll see how they'll bring them in for their first run of high-speed driving. We had 2-car high-speed driving, now we've got 3. It looks like they're going to take it in formation, bumper to bumper, touching bumpers all the way. Here they come, they're off like thoroughbreds at the Kentucky Derby, faster and faster, harder and harder. It looks like they take it driver's side high, up and over ramp elevation number 2, heading to number 2, heading all the way, thundering to the top of the racetrack out there tonight. Bumpers touching, sweeping and sliding. Out there you could have a fender bender on the highway. It's a masterful manipulation of motor vehicles. It's a traffic jam on the roll with the high-speed precision driving of the Black Cat Hell drivers. Don't forget, the big crash and smash portion is coming up. We're going to be crashing vehicles out here on the racetrack. It looks like they're going to crisscross in front of ramp elevations. 2 take it high, 1 take it low. They cross before ramp elevation number 1, speeding up once again. They take it again and cross before ramp elevation number 2, and they take it all the way down to the top, not quite able to cross that final last time out there on the racetrack. Well, that was turn number 1. They're going to take 3 tries out there to get this 3-car high-speed precision driving. It looks like they started out driver's side high. We'll see how they line it up to take their second run of 3-car high-speed precision driving. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, after tonight's performance, you can meet and greet the drivers of the show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 3 cars running bumper to bumper once again, and they're off like a locomotive, faster and faster, harder and harder, 50, 60 miles an hour, heading for ramp elevation number 1, driver's side low, taking ramp elevation number 2, driver's side low, bumpers touching once again. Watch out, and Johnny almost lost it that time on the racetrack. There almost was a fender bender out there tonight. Justin Bellinger leading that group, followed by Johnny Weiser and Tony Peterson, increasing the risk and increasing the factor as we raise those ramp elevations out there on the racetrack. Watch out now. Here come our 3 champions back in front of the grandstand where they'll park on a dime just for you. Welcome, champions all, Justin Bellinger, Johnny Weiser, and Mr. Tony Peterson. A combined experience of more than 80 years out there right now on the racetrack behind the wheels of those Dodge Avengers. Well, we're going to increase the ramp elevations out there on the racetrack, increasing the risk and increasing the dangers, and then we're getting ready for the crash portion of our show. So don't get away yet because the crash portion is coming up.
Well, it said it had 20 minutes.
And you got 11.
No, it said I had 20 minutes. I blinked and it's good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take those vehicles up to the top of the racetrack. Looks like we've got a ramp problem out there on the racetrack. In one moment, we'll get things started here as we're going to increase the ramp elevations and increase the speed out there on the track. Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser, our 2-star drivers, will be attempting those race ramp elevations in succession as they raise the level on those ramps out there now.
You can do that?
Yep.
Don't forget, a big thank you to JR, that's Gerald Rumberg with Wild Bull Monster Truck. He also has his vehicle shop and also has JR's Truck and Auto Sales just 1 mile east at 422. Now, what are you doing, Skid Mark? You're cleaning the Rams. What's the matter? They're filthy.
Yeah, I cover all these.
You will clean them. Thank you very much. We appreciate that work. I know that you get paid weekly around here. All
I
right,
just want to make
now,
sure if you're over on tight shot that I'm not.
skid mark, any moment, Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser are going to be attempting race ramp elevations in succession. I don't think they want you on the racetrack. Get off that racetrack, my friend. You shouldn't be out there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't know what's going on that racetrack. Miss Lorianne, what's going on out there? Get him off the racetrack. Hey, skid mark, watch out. Here they come. Not that way. They're coming the other way. Get out there on that racetrack on the center. Oh my goodness. Here they come faster and faster. They're almost going to wipe him out. What's going to happen now? They put it close, close, close. Tight, tight, tight. And you almost got your run over there. What's the matter? What is the matter? Tony ran over your toe. That's not a problem because JR has a big tow truck out back. Now watch, ladies and gentlemen, they just went over there. They're going to raise those ramp elevations. They went over one block high. We're going to raise them one more block. Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser, I've never seen them so mad with you guys playing out there on the racetrack. That's not very safe out there tonight. Raising those ramp elevations, looks like everything is okay. Justin Bellinger, Terry Gaffel watching things over. Now what are you doing, skid mark? You're going to take a nap on the park bench? What a beautiful night to take a nap on the park bench. Nice out here tonight. The temperature's not too high. Fantastic. Enjoy yourself out there on the park bench. Hey, skid mark, I got some bad news for you. That's not the park bench. Any moment, Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser are going to be attempting race ramp elevations in succession, and they might wipe you out. Hey, look out, here they come. Yes, down there. Get out of the way. What's going on with this crazy egomaniac? Get down, down, down. Here comes Tony Peterson. They put him side by side, closer and closer, harder and harder. Watch carefully. Oh my goodness! They successfully take it to the top. What happened? You've got skid marks all over your back. You almost lost it that time. And I don't think I've ever seen Tony Peterson so mad in my life out there while he's trying to attempt race ramp elevations. Any moment they're going to be in front of the grandstand. And I don't think he has very many kind words to say to you. Here come our duo of daredevils as they make their way back in front of the grandstand again. Watch out, old skid mark, because here comes Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser. And I don't think he's happy with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Peterson, Johnny Weiser. One more set of high-speed precision driving, and then we turn to the crash and smash portion of the show. You had 2 car, you had 3 car, now we're going to add 1 more car to the mix. Terry Gaffin in his very first performance of 4-car high-speed precision driving. I mentioned to you earlier, Terry Gaffin is a stunt performer. He performed with the Tony Peterson's Hell Drivers. He's performed with the Legend Stunt Show. He's also performed with Crash Moreau's Thrill Masters. He broke his back 3 years ago at the Orange County Fair in New York. He took a bus more than 40 feet in the air, and when it landed, it flipped, and he broke his back, and he was in intensive care for more than 3 months. And he's back out on the racetrack again with us this year after a full recovery out there. It was in the news and everything, and he almost lost his life on that accident out there, and so we're glad to have him back, and this is his first time. Terry will be in car number 1, the first car in the theory out there, as he does his first set of 4-car high-speed precision driving. This may look a little easy going over those speed bumps out there, but it's kind of crazy when you're in that vehicle behind there, in those vehicle seats and driving those vehicles and keeping them lined up. Once again, these are also stock automobiles, nothing fancy. Well, here they come, champions all, in front of the grandstand as they'll line things up. It looks like they're going to take it bumper to bumper for their first run. It looks like they head driver's side high. All cars coming down, 1, 2, 3, 4 as they make ramp elevation number 1. They successfully take it, bumpers touching all the way. Take it to the top. I think we might have a problem out there on the racetrack. Problem on the racetrack. Let's watch carefully as we bring things down out here. We'll see what cars happen out here on the racetrack. Again, Terry Gappa, his first time driving in high-speed precision driving. We'll see what's going on out there on the racetrack. Remember, nothing is ever the same on any conditions, on any racetrack, on any fairgrounds. You never know what could happen out there on the racetrack. Are the vehicles okay? I'm not for sure. Let's see what happens. It looks like we've got 3 vehicles that are good and running. Is one of the other vehicles not running? It looks like one vehicle is out of position. Well, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, crisscrossing, winding and weaving and swerving to the top of the racetrack. We are lost one vehicle, and it wasn't Terry Gappa. I think that vehicle was Justin Bellinger in the number 2 position out there tonight. Justin Bellinger, his 3rd year of driving high-speed precision driving. Of course, Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser with more than 75 years of experience out there on the racetrack. Let's see what they're going to formulate for you for their run here of 3-car precision driving. It looks like we do have a car. I thought I heard a tire pop as it went over that second set of ramps earlier tonight, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but it looked like a tire may have gotten busted out there on the racetrack tonight. Well, they'll bring those 3 vehicles back at a higher rate of speed. Watch carefully as Terry Gappa, Johnny Weiser, and Tony Peterson brings up the rear. They took it driver's side high the first time. They're lining things up. I think they're going to take it driver's side low, up and over ramp elevation number 1, heading to ramp elevation number 2, and they successfully take it to the top tonight. Skidmark checking those ramps. Justin Bellinger down there at the corner of the racetrack. First time we've lost a car in 4-car precision driving, so I don't know what we're exactly doing here, but we're going to figure things out for you in just a moment as we get ready for the crash and smash portion. It looks like they're lining up as they grind their way back in front of the grandstand. They're going to launch like a big long giant anaconda, winding and weaving, twisting and turning, all the way down to the top of the racetrack for their 3rd and final run of high-speed precision driving. Hey, Justin, what happened to you out there on the racetrack? Did you lose a tire? He did lose a tire, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for Justin Bellinger, his 3rd year of high-speed precision driving.
They need to stay driver's side down. They need to stay driver's side down.
Attention on the racetrack, driver's side low. Take those ramps. They're not going to do that. They're going to take it side by side. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to put the first 2 cars side by side. The back car is going to go switch swatch. Watch carefully as you can throw a blanket over all 3 of them as they bring it in for that ramp elevation. Here they come, faster and faster, harder and harder. They take it over ramp elevation number 1. Tony crosses over, and they successfully make it to the top on that 3rd and final run of 4-car, 3-car precision driving. We're going to be bringing the star of our show back out here in just a moment, Mr. Tony Peterson. He's going to be attempting the reverse spin. Also, I told you about taking a car up on 2 wheels. He's going to do that for you guys in just a moment here. It's a phenomenal feat. Well, we're going to bring all 3 of our champions back in front of the grandstand just for you. Let me introduce you to each and every one of them. Justin Bellinger over on the side, Terry Gappa, Johnny Weiser, and Mr. Tony Peterson. Wonderful out there on the racetrack tonight for those performers. We're going to clear those race ramp elevations as we get ready for our next feat of daring. Tony Peterson going to be attempting that high-speed reverse spin. This is a very dangerous position out there on the racetrack because it can be a very dangerous, we call it the deadly reverse spin, because you know what? Bill Reed was killed at the Kentucky State Fair in 1962. By attempting what Tony Peterson is going to be attempting here in just a moment just for you. He took a car at a high rate of speed in reverse, and the car flip-flopped over many times, and the car smashed on top of him, and he came to his early demise in the 1962 Kentucky State Fair. Bill Ward there on that crew. Now, Tony Peterson originally doing this with the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers in the 1968 New York State Fair. They're going to get the vehicles on the racetrack. They're going to get the race ramps removed off the racetrack so he can take that at a high rate of speed. He will take that car up to 65 miles an hour in reverse, where he'll spin it if the conditions are correct. Everything has to be absolutely perfect out there on the track. There is no room for error out there. One small mistake could send that car flip-flopping down the straightaway out here tonight on the racetrack. I would like to welcome each and every you guys to the Big Butler Fair, and tonight when you're done with our show, please visit our friends Powers Midways on the Midway and the Amusements. I'd like to give them a big thank you here at your Big Butler Fair. Powers All-American Midways, a phenomenal midway program through all out the country. Powers Midways is very respected in the fair and carnival business all over the entire world. Mr. Peterson, once everything is ready, he will take his car up to the top as they're still trying to get those race ramps removed off that racetrack. We had one of our stunt associates that was injured, so we're short one guy on the racetrack tonight, so they're getting those ramps moved just as quickly as they can off the racetrack. Mr. Peterson, he says everything is okay. He'll take that car, and ladies and gentlemen, take your cameras out for this one, as he's going to bring that car in reverse at a high rate of speed. What he's going to do is he's going to take that car to the top of the racetrack. He'll put it in reverse at a high rate of speed. He'll wind it back. back. He'll flip it, turn it, flip it, watch his lane, and he'll do it at faster lane. I can just set so. Watch carefully as he brings it back. Faster and faster. 30, 40, 45, 50 miles an hour. Here he goes. He spins it around the flooring. 180-degree turn, and he successfully made it out there tonight. Well, one good turn deserves another, so we're going to bring him back in the reverse direction. Let's see if he can do it again just for you. Here he comes, faster and faster, harder and harder. Watch carefully from your other viewpoint. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, as he gets ready to send it all the way around, as he whips it around right now, right in front of the grandstand. He takes it all the way to the top out there tonight. And I think he's going to do one more little slide for you. I think he'll reverse it, what we call a controlled reverse spin. The first two spins were reverse spins. This will be a controlled reverse spin. He'll spin it around reverse and he'll park it just for you. Watch, ladies and gentlemen, he'll park it right in front of the grandstand tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, the incomparable Tony Peterson. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Excellent driving out there on the racetrack tonight. We're going to be putting more flames, fire, and gasoline. We're going to take one of the cars that we're going to be crashing out there tonight. We're going to put a live human being on the top of that car. And we're going to take that car through a flaming firewall. Earlier tonight we did it with the motorcycle. Now we're going to do it with a live person. We're going to put a live person on the front of that car, that junk car that we're going to be crashing later on, that you don't want to miss out, because we're going to demolish all four of those junk cars out there on the racetrack tonight. All four will be totally gone before you guys leave. And if you want to bring your cameras out and meet our drivers later tonight, you're certainly welcome to. Well, we're going to bring out that nice young lady, Miss Lori Ann D. It looks like she's going to be put on the top of the vehicle. She is our stunt steward of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lori Ann D. doing that very dangerous flaming firewall, human battering ram, a human person on the front of the vehicle. She'll go through flames, fire, and gasoline, and those flaming firewalls out there on the racetrack. The car being driven by the producer of our show, Mr. Johnny Weiser. I told you he crashed more cars than there are New York City taxi cabs. That's absolutely correct. In his career, crashing more than 6,000 vehicles. 6,000 vehicles crashed in his career. He is the record holder of the dive bomber. He'll take that car more than 50 to 60 feet in the air and bring it back down and dive it into another car, and he'll successfully get out of that vehicle. In fact, some of you guys don't even know, John has only one eye. He lost one of his eyes at the Boonville Fair years ago, and that's what he did. He went into a dive bomber, and the gear shift came off the steering wheel and punctured his eye. So he drives out there with one eye out there tonight. Mr. Johnny Weiser driving that vehicle. He'll put Miss Lori Ann on the top of that vehicle, and they'll heat things up for Miss Lori Ann in just a moment. The producer of our show, Mr. Johnny Weiser, originating the Tony Peterson Hell Drivers and now the Black Cat Hell Drivers, in this special, unique edition of the Black Cat Hell Drivers this year, featuring that 1937 Dodge Lucky Lucy. She's got to be positioned. There's nothing special. She's got a helmet and she's got a leather jacket and gloves on. She's going to hold her hands on the top of that vehicle to hold steady out there on the racetrack. She has no special gear. She has no special flame retardant. All she has is the leather jacket and that helmet. Lori Ann, a lot of good luck as we send you to the top of the racetrack tonight at your big Butler Fair. All right, they're going to light things up for Miss Lori Ann there out there on the racetrack. Tony Peterson getting in that truck for our next Feat of Daring. You don't want to miss that. It is a Kodak moment out there for that. Johnny Weiser, next third, everything is okay. They're checking those vehicles. They're checking that firewall to make sure that it is put together properly as they get ready to come down that racetrack any moment. Johnny Weiser driving that vehicle with Miss Lori Ann on the top. They're going to light things up here in just a moment. Justin Bellinger checking everything out. Justin Bellinger, one of the part, he did a 7-wall firewall. He went through 7 firewalls on his motorcycle one time. Tonight he's out there helping set that firewall up. He is America's fastest rising stunt star. And America's new #1 stunt star is Mr. Terry Gappa with us in his first year of driving high-speed precision driving. Terry's been featured in many documentaries. He's also been featured on television shows. Well, tonight he's here with you with the Black Cat Hell Drivers. Terry was the gentleman I told you about that broke his back at the Orange County Fair in New York 3 years ago. Here they come, faster and faster. Watch carefully. Miss Lori Ann, it's a hot one for you out there tonight. Look out now, and she successfully makes it through. She's got flames, fire, and gasoline up there. She's got a board on her. Is she okay? She had her face mask on. Let's check and make sure she is okay, and if she gives me the all clear, I'll know. Miss Lori Ann, are you okay? Yes, she is. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Our daredevil female stunt associate, Miss Lori-Ann D. Don Weiser taking that car off the racetrack as we get ready to crash that car in just a few moments. You don't want to miss that. We're going to have two of our rising stunt stars, Justin Bellinger and Terry Gappa. They're going to do rollovers. They're going to roll those vehicles over side by side. We're going to have a rollover competition, and we'll see who can stay up the longest out there tonight. Now, we're going to take these race ramp elevations. We're going to make this one really, really high. We're going to set it up 7 blocks out there, and Mr. Tony Peterson's going to take that Dodge Dakota pickup truck. He's going to drive it for you on 2 wheels. 2 wheels. Here's the thing about this. Mr. Tony Peterson is the world record holder driving a vehicle on 2 wheels, driver's side high. That means he's going to be way up in the air, holding his complete body weight with his left arm, driving the vehicle with his right arm, and he'll attempt to do the complete circumference of the racetrack tonight for you. Tony Peterson with that world record doing it driver's side high. Now, a lot of stunt associates can do it driver's side low. In fact, he is now deceased, Mr. Tim Chitwood, who we worked with last year. He was the world record holder doing it driver's side low. Tim had a heart attack, and he had the 5.9 miles doing it driver's side low. Tony Peterson with the world record of 5 miles driver's side high in the World Guinness Book of Records. Any moment now. Also, a quick note of interest. Years ago, when the 2-wheel driver went up on 2 wheels, they called it high skis. And what they would do is they'd put them on 2 wheels and they'd let them roll and coast for as long as they could make it. Well, Tony figured out how to lock the rear axle. And once he was able to do that, then he was able to actually drive the vehicle up on 2 wheels. So they used to call them floaters. They would float them up on 2 and see how long they'd stay. Well, Tony Peterson in the 1964 World's Fair learned how to lock those rear wheels, and then they were able to start locking that wheel and have world record holders of putting them on 2 wheels. The other thing that's interesting fact, Tony Peterson was the first person in the United States to drive a front-wheel drive vehicle up on 2 wheels as well. So lots of feats of daring out there, originally performing with the royal famous Amandies as an acrobatic performer, world renowned, then coming to America and performing with the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers, more than 40 some years of experience out there on that racetrack and high-speed precision driving. Looks like the ramp is set. Tony Peterson has to watch everything. It has to be absolutely perfect. There's no room for error out there on the racetrack tonight. If one small mistake, that could flip-flop that vehicle over on its side.
Used to go all the way around the half-mile.
Checking one final last time. Justin Bellinger, Terry Gappa checking things out. Skid marks, don't bother those people while they're out there on the racetrack. Be careful, please. Tony Peterson looks at it one final time to make sure things are okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in any moment you're going to see a feat of daring that very few people are able to see. Mr. Tony Peterson going to take that Dodge Dakota pickup truck. It's a stock automobile. He'll put it up on 2 wheels. The only thing that is different about that vehicle, it's got a rear axle lock so he can make it around the racetrack. And we'll see how long he'll make it around the racetrack for you tonight. If the conditions are successful, he'll make the complete circumference of the racetrack for you tonight.
Lori. You need to get up there so you can kind of face Tony.
All right, we're going to bring that vehicle down. Watch carefully. Everything has to be absolutely perfect. It has to be the exact speed. There's no room for movement. It has to be within a mile of that speed. He also has to have the wheels lined up correct. Skid marks, stay out of the racetrack, please, as Mr. Tony Peterson attempts that high-speed position out there tonight. He's got it up, and it's up, and there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, down the racetrack tonight. What are you doing, Skid Mark? What are you doing? Stay off that racetrack. Tony Peterson was on the pivotal point of success out there on the racetrack, and you're getting in his way. Tony Peterson says, stay off that racetrack and stay off. Watch carefully as he makes his way out there on the racetrack. He didn't quite make it around the complete circumference of the racetrack, so he's going to try it for you one more time out there tonight for you, ladies and gentlemen, here at your big Butler Fair. Tony Peterson with that uncanny ability to raise, balance, and drive any vehicle up on 2 wheels. I told you he was the first person to do it, driver's side high in America. He was also the first person to do a front-wheel drive vehicle. Here he goes. Watch carefully, ladies and gentlemen, as he puts that vehicle up on 2 wheels. They bring that Dodge Dakota pickup truck in. Is he on it? Yes, he is. He's found the groove and he's on the move. Hey, Skidmark, what are you doing? Stop it, stop it, stop it. Oh my goodness. Stay off that racetrack, Skidmark. Mr. Peterson doesn't want you out there. He says get off and stay off. Well, they're going to take that vehicle down the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you your high ski performance here any moment. Miss Lorianne, would you please get that egomaniac off the racetrack and keep him off the racetrack, please? Tony Peterson says get off and stay off. He's going to check that ramp one more time as he gets ready for that third run of high skis. Two-wheel balancing act. In the automotive thrill show business, we call it high skis. Now that we're able to lock those rear wheels, we call it control high skis. He'll take that vehicle up. Ladies, police, fire, and safety crews, please clear all automotive traffic and pedestrian traffic off the racetrack tonight. Mr. Peterson attempting to complete circumference of the racetrack. Police, fire, and safety crews, all automotive and pedestrian traffic off the racetrack now. Watch, ladies and gentlemen, as he brings it down the racetrack tonight. He's up, he's on it, he's found the groove, and he's on the move. Mr. Tony Peterson with that uncanny ability to balance, raise, and drive any vehicle up on two wheels. Well, he's picking up speed out there on those slick conditions tonight. That's a sandy top because this is a horse track. He is making it all the way down the straightaway. Let's see if he will make the complete circumference of the racetrack tonight. He makes it for that first short shoot. He's going through the end corner now. Watch carefully as he brings it down. He's all the way around that corner now. Ladies and gentlemen, if he makes it halfway, I would venture to say he's going to make it all the way tonight, just for you, at your big Butler County Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Peterson making it through that second turn. Introducing this act in the 1964-65 World's Fair. Well, he's up and he's on it. He's the guy out there tonight. Driver's side high. Nobody can do what he can do driver's side high. Yes, there's stunt professionals that do it driver's side low, but nobody does it high like Tony Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, making it through that short shoot again, and that means he will probably make the complete circumference of the racetrack. If he does, I think we're going to owe this gentleman a standing ovation tonight at your big Butler County Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, is he on it? Yes, he is, and I think he's going to make the complete circumference tonight here at the big Butler County Fair. Mr. Tony Peterson bringing that big Dodge Dakota pickup truck in front of the grandstand where he'll park it where he wants to park it, and he'll land it, shiny side up, and rubber side down, down, down. Give it up for Mr. Tony Peterson. Tony Peterson, the ability to raise and balance almost any vehicle up on two wheels. Well, guys, you asked for some crash and smash. You want rough and tough. You want big action Hollywood stunts. You want a gravity-defying, action-packed attraction. Well, things are going to heat up on that racetrack now. Are you ready for a high-flying, gravity-defying, action-packed attraction Hollywood stunt? Well, you're going to get it now. We're going to take those vehicles out there. We're going to crash them and smash them just for you. You've seen these at the movies, and now you're going to see them live. Big action Hollywood stunts just like the ones performed for the silver screens of Hollywood. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Rob Kramer. I'm the announcer and marketing director for the Black Cat Hell Drivers. Many of you may know my last name from the older crew that are up there in that grandstand. My father was Larry Kramer. He was the clown with the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers for more than 20 years out here on the racetrack with Tony Peterson and Johnny Weiser with the Jack Kochman Hell Drivers. And as a child, I would travel with my family down the road, highways and byways of America, going from fair to fair, speedway and speedway, and here I am 40 years later, and I'm still going fair to fair, speedway and speedway, and it's my pleasure to be your announcer tonight at your big Butler County Fair. I would also like to welcome you and show you our friend out here, Mr. Skidmark, your Daredevil clown. He is new this year to Daredevil clowning, but he's done an excellent job for his first time performing tonight with the Black Cat Hell Drivers. Let's give it up for Mr. Skidmark, Justin Voltus Brown from Boston, Massachusetts. They're going to get these cars prepared for the crash and smash portion. I told you guys you're going to get Hollywood stunts, and yes, you are going to get Hollywood stunts. You know, earlier tonight, we did that ramp-to-ramp jump where we took that takeoff ramp and we landed that 1937 Dodge automobile on the receiving ramp. We're going to use that takeoff ramp again, but guess what? We're not going to have a receiving ramp. we're going to have that car up in the air and it's going to crash down into another car. That's coming up after a while for the grand finale of the show. You don't want to miss that as we end things with that. Tony Peterson going to check that ramp again. They're going to take two of these cars that we're going to crash. We call this a rollover competition. That means we're going to have two different stunt associates out there on the racetrack. They're going to see how long they can keep each of those cars rolling over. So that means if they roll one over, we call it wheel to wheel. Now we can take a car and flip it many times, but we call this wheel to wheel. We want them to roll that car over from wheel to wheel, land on all four wheels, and then we want that stunt associate to do it again and again and again. Justin Bellinger with the record here on this show, being able to roll a car 6 times continuously and keeping it going. Well, Terry Gappa, also a crash expert as well. He's new to hell driving, but he's not new to crash work. He originally performed with the Tony Peterson Hell Drivers, and he did rollover competitions before. Well, we're going to have a little contest this year in our group to see how many times these guys can keep it going tonight, but not only tonight, but our entire summer season. So tonight starts our season for July, and we're going to find out who can win tonight, whether it's Justin Bellinger or Terry Gappa. You guys wanted a tournament of thrills. This will be a tournament of thrills because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to win. So it's Justin against Terry. A real tournament of thrills out here on the racetrack tonight at your big Butler County Fair. Again, these cars that we're going to be using in the crash and smash portion of the show, they're brought to us by JR's Truck and Auto Sales. 1 mile east on Route 422 from many used cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. He also has all types of new trailers and campers as well. A big thank you, too, for providing those vehicles. He has the big monster truck straight ahead across the racetrack there, and they call that Wild Bull Monster Truck. You guys ought to check that out and ride that thing. Seems pretty cool. They jump over those junk cars out there in the middle. Pretty cool item out here at your big Butler County Fair. Yeah, the vehicle's ready, the drivers are ready. Now, everything's stripped out of those vehicles. There's not even a thermometer or nothing, so they got to be able to gauge that from their ability to gauge how fast that vehicle's going. They do have helmets on. They won't use a regular safety belt. They have their own safety belt that they'll put in there, and they'll strap themselves in, so that way if they have to unstrap quickly to get out in case of an emergency, they do. But other than that, there's no other safety precautions out there. We have removed the windshields and all glass material so nobody gets hurt out there on that racetrack. Terry Gappa and Justin Bellinger with many television credits to themselves, documentary credits as well, and they'll be out here performing Terry Gappa, America's newest high-speed precision driver, Justin Bellinger, America's fastest rising stunt star in the United States today. Justin Bellinger was the clown on this show for many, many years. He was America's youngest daredevil clown, and he started with the Tony Peterson Hell Drivers 6 years ago. All right, they're going to get the cars to the top of the racetrack now. Watch carefully. It looks like, is this Justin Bellinger driving, Miss Lorianne? Looks like it is. Watch carefully as he brings it in. He brings it in. Watch as he goes up. Justin Bellinger rolls it, and does he make it? 1 complete time. Ladies and gentlemen, he is okay, and I think he's going to go back for another run. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Bellinger with the 1 complete rollover. Great job out there, Justin, and he'll take that car back to the front, and they'll raise that ramp elevation once again as he gets ready to do it again. I told you, Justin Bellinger able to do that more than 5 times in a row.
Your guys aren't quite half there.
Don't forget, after the show tonight, come down and meet and greet us here in the grandstand area up here on the track. I'm going to open that gate up. You guys can see the cars that we crashed. You'll see the cars that we drive. They are stock automobiles. Why do we drive Dodge? Because Dodge can withstand the time and test of all this destruction on the racetrack. Going over racetrack elevations in succession, day after day, night after night, here with the Black Cat Hell Drivers. Well, they've got that ramp set back up. Looks like Justin's going to do attempt number 2. Let's see who's going to win that rollover competition tonight. Justin's got 1 rollover completed. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. 1 small turn, and he could flip-flop the wrong direction. He also could cave that roof in. Watch carefully as he takes it in. He's up, and he rolls it in. Wheel to wheel. I do think I heard a tire blow. Let's see if he can do it 1/3 and final time. Well, he might be able to make it. Let's see. He did lose a tire. Let's see where they're going to put that car. Not even do it because he lost a tire there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mr. Justin Bellinger. America's fastest rising stunt star from Palmer, Massachusetts, Justin Bellinger. Here comes Mr. Terry Gappa. I told you he broke his back at the Orange County Fair in New York. Now he's going to do a rollover competition here. A little easier than jumping a bus, but it's still quite a feat out there on the racetrack tonight once they get that ramp put into position. One small minor move could be catastrophic for anyone. Again, like I said, we could do a rollover and roll that many, many times, which these guys do all the time. A couple of things about that we are cautious about that. When those cars roll over time and time again, the way they're making these cars nowadays, those tires come off so easy, you don't want to send a tire flying through the grandstand or the audience. So that's why we created this rollover competition to see how long we can keep that vehicle coming. If that show was in the middle, a little bit farther in, we could roll that over multiple times, but we don't want to do that for everyone's safety. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the ramp is set. It's the crash and smash portion of the show. Big action Hollywood stunts. Terry Gappa, bring it in. Let's see what you got out here for Hollywood tonight at your big Butler County Fair. He's in that Chevy Corsica. Watch carefully as he brings it in. He's up, he rolls it 1.5. Is he okay? Head drivers rushing to his assistance. Let's check on Mr. Gappa any moment. We're going to try to push that vehicle all the way over. Can they get it? Stunt associates, can they get it? Yes, they can. Let's give it up for Mr. Terry Gappa. Hey, Justin got two. I think Terry wants to try to get two, and that car's still driving. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special treat for you now. He rolled it wheel to wheel. Actually, he had 1.5. Justin had 2, and Terry's got 1.5. Let's see what happens now. They're going to get that ramp lined up. Do you guys realize back in the 1950s and 60s, there were more than 50 traveling automobile stunt shows traveling across the highways and byways of America? Well, we are the final and last traveling automotive stunt show in the entire country here in the United States. There's a few in Europe and there's one in Australia, but we're the last one here in the United States, keeping this tradition alive. I'd like everyone to give a big round of applause to the producer of our show, Mr. Johnny Weiser, for keeping this long-term tradition alive here in the United States of America. Looks like the ramp is set. Johnny gives him the all clear. Mr. Terry Gappa is going to line that car up. He's got 1.5. Justin's got 2. Let's see if Terry can beat him now. Let's watch as things go. He's lining things up. Is everything okay? Looks like he's looking what's going on if he can roll that over. Here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, watch carefully. Looks like he's going to bring it in about 30 miles an hour on this one. No, he's going a little faster than that. Watch carefully as he brings it in. He's up. He rolls it quick. He runs it 1.5 times. If he successfully does it, he'll land it into the windshield of the first car that's out there on the racetrack tonight. There'll be another car parked behind that first car, and they'll use that for a catch car just in case he does go over. One small problem could prove problems for Mr. Weiser out there. As I mentioned, he had a horrible incident at the Boonville Fair in 1977. Where he did have a catastrophic injury out there, and we definitely don't want to duplicate that tonight at your big Butler County Fair here tonight. I also would like to thank the Butler County Fair Board for having us here with you tonight. It's certainly been our privilege and pleasure to be here at your big Butler County Fair. We've also got many, many guests out here in the audience. And some of you I know real well, some of you I don't. I know some of you guys follow us on Facebook and follow our personal Facebook pages. I want to thank a lot of our friends that are out here tonight traveling from a long distance to get here and to see us perform. Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate that.
It's like, here, you need some money? Isn't it?
Johnny's going to measure everything out because it has to be absolutely perfect where they drop that receiving car. That car that he'll be driving has to land perfectly into the windshield of that receiving car if it's safe and if it's doable. If not, it could prove wrong out there on the racetrack.
How'd you get a dolly? Pushing my grandmother around. Hey, Rob!
Yeah, yes, Skid Mark.
My favorite country singer is here today.
Your favorite country and western singer of all time is here tonight at the big Butler Fair. Are you talking about the group Confederate Railroad that was here last night? No, he's not talking about Confederate Railroad that was here last night. Who is here?
This is his first year.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton is here tonight at the big Butler County Fair.
see her?
No, I did not see her. That's crazy. Dolly Parton is here tonight. What's going on? Get up here and introduce yourself. What's going on out here? Ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea. We have a big-time performer here at your big Butler County Fair.
That opens up the other way.
Yeah, there's a ramp.
Big Butler County Fair. Here comes our clown to go find Miss Dolly Parton. Formally introduce yourself, and let's give a big round of applause to Miss Parton for being here tonight at the big Butler County Fair. Okay. I think you may have went up the wrong way. Where is she? Never mind. It's just two bald guys sitting real close together. Oh my goodness. I am sorry, folks. I thought we had a country western star here tonight. Skidmark, get out of that grandstand area. You know, Skidmark he has wanted to have kids for a long, long time here at the big Butler County Fair. He's talking about having kids. He loves those kids.
I'm gonna find one right now.
What do you mean you're going to find one right now?
I'm gonna find mine.
You're going to find your own kid right now? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't remember you. Oh my goodness, that's terrible out there. She didn't do that part very good, ladies and gentlemen. That's my niece out there. You're supposed to do a part, but she got a little bashful. Let's give it up for her for trying out there. Good try.
Do my girlfriend. Do my girlfriend.
Hey, Rob.
Yes, now what do you want? We've already made 2 mistakes. What do we want to do now?
Take another one. Anyway, no, my girlfriend's here tonight. Oh no, she's mine now. Your girlfriend's here?
Yeah, my girlfriend's here. She's up in the stands. Where is your girlfriend? Oh, right up there? Yes, I do see that ring on her hand. That's a 10-carat ring. That's amazing. You bought her that? You've got fine taste. I can't believe you bought her that ring. My goodness.
Coach bag she's holding?
That coach bag, oh my goodness, that's expensive.
I bought that.
You bought her that too?
Right.
You got her that. My goodness.
That shiny necklace?
I see that shiny necklace on her.
I bought that.
You got her that too. I see that beautiful little child with her.
You gave her that.
I gave her that. Oh my goodness. All right, looks like we've got those cars set up on the racetrack. Everything's measured out. Looks like we've got it to perfection. Johnny Weiser, Tony Peterson has to have everything absolutely perfect. These guys doing it for a combined experience of 75 years on the racetrack night after night. He will take that car to the top of the racetrack as we get ready for the grand finale of the world-famous Black Cat Hell Drivers out there on the racetrack tonight.
Hey Justin, can we ask if he's going to take one pass first?
Johnny Weiser putting his helmet on for safety. He'll take that car. Looks like he's going to be driving a Buick Skylark. Speaking of cars that were crashing tonight, once again a big and final thank you to JR's Towing and JR's Auto Sales and his truck, the big Wild Bull Monster truck. Big thank you to JR's Towing and Automotive Sales. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on the racetrack, we're getting ready for the grand finale of the world-famous Black Cat Hell Drivers. You've seen it in the movies, and tonight you're going to see it live. A big action Hollywood stunt just for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Weiser taking that car momentarily to the top of the racetrack. He'll look over those cars one final last time to make sure they are okay. He'll give me the thumbs up when he's ready to go to the top of the racetrack, and we'll get things started. Get your cameras out. Get ready for the conclusion of the world-famous Black Cat Hell Drivers. Mr. Johnny Weiser takes it to the top of the racetrack tonight. He gets up there, everything has to be absolutely perfect. There's no room for error. He has to hit that exactly on the speed that he needs to hit it. He cannot be more than 3 inches off on that ramp, one way or the other, left or right, because it could send him spiraling. If he lands it correctly, he'll land in the windshield of the red car in front. If he doesn't, he'll overpass it or come too short. Ladies and gentlemen, watch carefully as he comes out of that short chute now. Here he comes, faster and faster, harder and harder. He lines things up. He's heading down for that target tonight. He is on it. Yes, he is. And here he comes. And oh my, what's going on out there tonight? Oh my goodness, something must be off. Stunt associates going to the racetrack, going to the ramps to see if everything is okay, checking everything out. Ladies and gentlemen, looking everything over. John stops to converse. He gives the thumbs up, and now we are ready for the grand finale of the world-famous Black Cat Hell Drivers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the grand finale. Don't forget after the show to come out here and get souvenirs from Miss Lori Ann D and see it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as he gets that car, remember there's more than flooring the accelerator and heading towards the target in these very dangerous feats of daring out there on the racetrack. Well, as he comes out, his hands begin to sweat. His heart begins to throb as he comes closer and closer to that ragged edge of uncertainty. With Lady Luck on the one side, the Grim Reaper on the other. It's an avalanche of automotive fury, a crescendo of crashing steel. Ladies and gentlemen, a successful run out there tonight in that dive bomber crash out here with the Black Cat Hell Drivers. Let me introduce you one final time to the producer of our show, Mr. Jumpin' Johnny Weiser. This is Rob Kramer on behalf of our entire team out there tonight. We want to thank you for coming to the big Butler County Fair. And on behalf of all of us out here this evening, we salute you now. Thank you for coming out to your big Butler County Fair. We'll see you soon.